Father God, I pray that you would speak through me and minister to your people. Alright, so today we're going to talk about purpose. So the dictionary defines purpose as the reason for which something is done, why it's created, or why it exists, for an intended goal or aim. And according to the Bible, when it talks about purpose, we see here in Romans 8:28 that we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. And so one's going to ask, well, what is God's purpose for us? So next we're going to go to Matthew 22. And we're going to go to verse 36 to 40. And the disciples and the Pharisees and the Sadducees were talking with Jesus, and they tried to trap him. And they said, "Teacher, which is the most important law in the commandment of Moses?" And Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. The entire law and all the demands of the prophets are based on these two commandments." So when we ask ourselves, what is our purpose? Well, our purpose is to love God with our heart, mind, and soul, and then to love others and share the love of God with others. Paul said, that we love ourselves, so we should treat each other how we treat our own selves. And I know that's subjective, because if you don't treat yourself well, then obviously don't treat people the same way you treat them. Just want to make that kind of obvious. But as I think about, where my purpose has been, I have to remind myself of what my purpose is. And I now fully grasp and understand why people have midlife crises, because a midlife crisis, what I've come to find out, happens when someone has their purpose in something, but that thing that they put their purpose in no longer has a purpose for them. And I'm going to give you some examples. I've always put my blood, sweat, and tears into the Coast Guard and to the military. And yes, Lord, forgive me for doing that, because I know a lot of men do that. I'm guilty also. But as I can see now, the Coast Guard is changing. They're changing how they do things. It's just not the same, right? And one of the things that I really been struggling with is I've been putting all my blood, sweat, and tears into this as my purpose. And, we have to deal with, I'd say it, things that are of their stupidity, like the fact that we're not guaranteed to get paid, the fact that the government has been shut down. And so whatever you put your purpose and your intent into, that's something that you love. And so when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something that you love, and you give it time, only then can it disappoint you. And so this is why I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into my career in the Coast Guard, which is why I am disappointed with them. I'm disappointed with the Coast Guard, the fact that, we're not getting paid. I'm disappointed with our president. I'm disappointed with our Congress. I'm disappointed with our country, how people are behaving, how people are treating each other. And that's all because I have made my whole purpose, about being a good sailor, a great worker, etc. And I can tell you that the moral decay that's in society, it definitely has crept its way into the surface when it comes to our standards, because now our standards are less than, and the people that are coming in that are leading now in certain places are doing less than, right? So here I have in my job, I've been putting all my blood, sweat, and tears, going above and beyond to do things started hating my job, even though my job's amazing, because of the people that I have to work with. They don't want to reciprocate that same level of energy. So maybe you realize, you know what, I'm going about this way of life wrong. I know better. I need to go back to what my real purpose is: to love God with all my heart, mind, and soul, and to love others. So now I'm putting more of my time into my family. I hope to finish creating my business and get that successful, because with the money that I make from there, I want to, of course, improve my family situation, but also improve the situation of the next generation, give money to the church, and do lots of things that basically I want to make an impact on the world. And I can't do that if I continue to get a government. So I realize, like, I can't count on the government, Republican or Democrat. You can't count on the government. If it's not plain and known now, then you're never going to wake up and smell this coffee. I'm sorry, our government has failed us. They are utter disappointment. Yes, we have it way better than any other country out there. Trust me, I've been traveling a lot, been to so many different countries. I understand, but this is just the whole reason why you cannot put your trust into the government. Because even the president doesn't have full control. Congress doesn't have full control. All the leaders in the military, they don't have full control, because otherwise we'd be getting paid if they have full control. So they can do the best they can do, and it's still not good enough to actually make things happen, because we have checks and balances, and unfortunately the checks and balances are working against us. If you ask me, in order for you to even serve as president, Congress, and any of that, I think it should be mandatory that you should have served a minimum of 4 years in the service. So that way you don't use us as your political pawns to get your goals done. But yeah, that's why I'm saying all this is relevant about purpose, is that there's a lot of people out there, I noticed, that they're all trying to rediscover, okay, what's my purpose now? Because the people are losing heart because they don't know when the next paycheck's gonna come, and it's hard mentally to give your all to something when you don't know if it has your best interest at heart. So it's hard for me to give my all to my job when I don't know if they have my best interest at heart, when I don't even know if I'm gonna get paid or not. You know what I mean? So make sure I covered everything. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna talk about control, because this is one thing I've learned about control, is that no one we think that's in control is in control. The president isn't in control, because if that's the case, the government would have already been open. Congress don't have control because they can't even get control of their own emotions and themselves to do what's right for us. And then all our leaders, admirals, commandants, etc., even they can do the best they can, and I know they have our best interests at heart, but they also have a limit of control. And we all have a very limited scope for control in our lives. And it's just made me realize that I need to focus all my time on the one who can control everything, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. So if you were blessed by this message, like, subscribe, leave a thumbs up. I pray that it blesses you. I pray that if you were in a situation like me, you're having a midlife crisis, or you're not sure what's going on, what your purpose is, etc., that you remember what I'm saying here and change your purpose to focus on your relationship with Christ, your family. If you don't know Christ, put Christ in the comments, and I'll reach out to you and lead you to salvation. All right, God bless.